So Marina Mabrey has responded to the to everything that's going on.
Marina Mabrey just looked like she was just unhinged out there after looking at this, man.
A brutal shove, a stunned rookie, and a WNBA controversy that's spiraling out of control. Marina Mabrey's explosive hit on Caitlin Clark didn't just spark fan outrage, it lit a firestorm that now threatens the credibility of the league itself. And just when the world demanded answers, Mabrey finally broke her silence.
Are here the night after WNBA Fight Night. Sophie Cunningham putting J.C. Sheldon in a clinch. Marina Mabrey targeting Caitlin Clark.
It all happened in seconds. Caitlin Clark, WNBA's hottest rookie, was blindsided by a full-speed shove from Marina Mabrey. No ball in sight, no play being made, just force, yet no ejection. Fans erupted, broadcasters were speechless, and suddenly, the WNBA had a very public mess on its hands.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey's going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it.
All they had to do was just eject her. All they had to do was eject her, and none of this happens. If the referees had ejected Marina Mabrey, nothing else happens. The Sophie Cunningham situation does not.
It wasn't just Indiana fans who cried foul. Analysts and former players quickly labeled the move dirty. Some called it reckless. Others called it intentional. But nearly everyone agreed the refs blew the call. And when Marina wasn't tossed, the league's double standard got exposed.
So, there are 4 players fined in that game. 4 players fined in that game, but the referees, the scariest part about all this is that the referees came out with their report. They came out with their report and said, the contact made by Mabrey did not rise to the level of ejection. Additionally, it did not meet the criteria for a flagrant 2 penalty. And it was given as a technical foul, not even a flagrant, by the way.
So how did 3 professional referees with the best seats in the house miss a textbook flagrant? Lead ref Ashley Gloss later defended the no ejection ruling. But 24 hours later, the league quietly overruled her. The foul? Now upgraded to a flagrant 2. But to fans, it was too little, too late.
A lot of it is centered around the last 46 seconds where Sophie Cunningham hard fouls J.C. Sheldon. She gets ejected, J.C. gets ejected, does Lindsay? I think Lindsay gets ejected. And, in watching the broadcast, even the broadcasters at the time mentioned if they would have just ejected Marina Mabrey, this probably wouldn't have happened.
Instead of owning the mistake, the WNBA made the change behind closed doors. No announcement, no accountability. Just a silent update on their site. And that's when questions started flying, not just about the refs, but about Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's role.
So Caitlin Clark gets poked in the eye. Marina Mabrey doesn't even see what happens, and she just decides to clean Caitlin Clark out of it. And the referees just said, nah, it was not worth an injection. So Caitlin dribbles. Look at how far she is away from the ball, by the way. Look at how far she is away from the ball. That's literally, she's nowhere near the ball. She just jumps at her face. And then she belly bumps Caitlin. Caitlin retaliates by shoving in an unsportsmanlike manner, according to the referees. And then Marina Mabrey comes from nowhere.
Days later, Marina Mabrey finally broke her silence. Her tone? Defiant. Her message? She wasn't backing down. But to critics, her words felt less like accountability and more like deflection. Did she regret the foul? No. Did she say Clark deserved it? Not quite. But her silence on suspension spoke volumes.
At this angle, you can see just how far J.C. Sheldon is away from the ball. The ball's here. She's hitting Caitlin Clark in the face here. If you guys are looking at my cursor. I'm sorry I can't make this bigger. My cursor. She hits Caitlin Clark here. The ball's here. The ball is 3 feet away from Caitlin Clark's face. And she just targets the face. She targets the face. I don't know if there's any other way to describe it. This is clearly, she just lunged at her face. She went nowhere near the ball. She lunges forward. She absolutely, positively, zero doubts about it, lunges at Caitlin Clark's face.
This wasn't an isolated incident. Just weeks earlier, J.C. Sheldon gouged Clark's eye no penalty. Sophie Cunningham stood up for Clark and got tossed. The message from the league? If you play physical against Caitlyn, it's fine. But if you play physical for her, you get punished.
I don't see how you can say that any other way. She literally lunged at her face. And then Caitlyn's there walking away, and she belly bumps her. Like, by the way, Caitlyn with the shove. Caitlyn does not move JC Sheldon. If you look at this angle, you can see Caitlyn Clark does not move JC Sheldon. They're like, Caitlyn shoved Sheldon. Caitlyn literally, JC Sheldon's still moving forward. So JC Sheldon is the one who initiates the contact and then chases her, and Marina Mabrey comes from nowhere.
So, who's truly responsible? Marina Mabrey for the shove? The refs for missing it? Or the WNBA itself for setting a precedent where fouling a rookie sensation goes unchecked? Critics now point squarely at the top commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, for staying silent in moments that demand leadership.
So yeah, she ended up stating this: Marina Mabrey's technical from last night's Fever Sun game has been upgraded to a flagrant 2. Oh man, the league told ESPN a flagrant 2 comes from a standard fine. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham was fined separately for her hard foul with 46 seconds to play.
The league may be quiet, but the fans aren't. They took to social media by the thousands, demanding answers. Jersey sales for Clark skyrocketed, hashtags trended, podcasts exploded, and suddenly, the WNBA's most marketable star was at the center of a public reckoning the league never saw coming.
People are calling for Sophie Cunningham's ejection from the league. People are commenting under Marina Mabrey stuff.
At stake isn't just one player's safety, it's the future of the league. Caitlyn Clark brought millions of new eyes to the WNBA. But if the league can't protect its stars, and if its enforcers are penalized more than the offenders, what message does that send?
It is kind of, frustrating to see the hypocrisy everywhere in all the spaces when it comes to the Indiana Fever, because I'm seeing the same people saying, and the same people in the media, the same people in social media, which social media doesn't really count and it shouldn't, but these are filtering to people in the mainstream media saying it was a physical league last season, to Sophie should be ejected and her spot should be considered in the league, and calling her out on all these physical plays that were totally excusable until the Indiana Fever do them.
The question now: what happens next? Will the WNBA issue a formal suspension? Will Cathy Engelbert address the chaos? Or will silence continue to erode trust in a league desperately trying to grow? Whatever comes, fans and players are watching.
There's no way y'all coming after the game and then now you're saying, oh, it should have been a flagrant 2. Oh, we should have. Look, you're catching the smoke and now you want to change it. You need to do it during the game. All right, during the game, go ahead and call it the way it is, man. Stop with the nonsense.
Marina Mabrey may have broken her silence, but what's still broken is the league's credibility. The shove that started a storm now threatens to rewrite the WNBA's entire future. If you believe stars deserve protection, and if you think the rules should apply to everyone, drop a CC Justice in the comments, hit that like, and don't forget to subscribe for more fearless WNBA coverage. The story's not over, and neither are we.
The contact made by Mabrey did not rise to the level of an ejection. Additionally, it did not meet the criteria for a flagrant foul penalty 2.
In a league begging for global respect, one shove just changed everything. Marina Mabrey, aggressive, unapologetic, delivered a blow that wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. A silent league, a boiling fan base. And now, a question everyone is asking: has Cathy Engelbert lost control of her own league?
Out with this statement saying, yeah, it was a flagrant 2.
The Fever versus Sun matchup had already been tense. But when Caitlyn Clark, the WNBA's most watched rookie, got shoved from behind in a dead ball moment by Marina Mabrey, time stood still. The refs? No ejection, just a common foul. But for fans, analysts, and even rival players, it felt like a scandal brewing in real time.
So this just clearly shows me the referees need some schooling, man. Okay? They need some schooling. You had these referees out here clueless, man. And I was wondering what was taking them so long to call the right call. I swear to you, man, we lived 2 lifetimes before they came back and said what they needed to say about the nonsense that happened.
Let's be honest. The inconsistency is wild. Sophie Cunningham, tossed for a wrap-up foul. J.C. Sheldon, no penalty after gouging Clark's eye. Marina Mabrey, a violent shove and she stayed in the game. The message is clear. Punish who speaks up, protect who brings chaos.
Question was, why did Caitlin Clark get a technical foul? She ended up coming back and saying, after the foul by Sheldon, Clark reacted in an unsportsmanlike manner toward Sheldon. Huh?
The league didn't release a statement. No public apology. Instead, the WNBA silently upgraded the foul after fan outrage. This wasn't leadership. It was damage control. And in that moment, fans realized something bigger. If the league won't protect Clark now, when will they?
Now, the flagrant was Sophie. I'm still questioning that. I'm still questioning. Because it looked like a take foul, fam. And don't tell me y'all never seen somebody grab LeBron James, like hold him like both of his arms, try to hold him down. He fights through it, still makes the bucket. Don't tell me y'all never seen.
When Mabrey finally spoke up, she didn't defend, she doubled down. In a viral TikTok, she smirked. Every time they comment, I make dollars. No apology, no regret, just a cold embrace of controversy. For fans, it was either brilliance or arrogance. But one thing's for sure, she's not backing down.
At the end of the day, as long as bad referees are allowed to do whatever the hell they want to do, as long as bad referees can get away with every single thing they want and can get away with stuff like this, nothing will ever change.
Let's not forget this isn't the first time. From eye pokes to body checks, Clark has been targeted since day one. Why? Because she's too good, too fast, too watched. But how many hits can a star take before the league risks losing her entirely?
Oh, it's good that the refs did something about it, but they should have did something about it way earlier. They could have prevented all of this. They could have prevented every bit of this, but they chose not to.
Commissioner Kathy Engelbert pushed for expansion and media money, but if your biggest star is assaulted without justice, what are you really building? If Marina Mabrey walks away while Clark limps off, the future of the WNBA is in jeopardy.
But Marina Mabrey commented on TikTok about the whole situation, and this is what she said. Every time they comment, I make dollars.
This isn't just fan noise anymore. Analysts, coaches, even Hall of Famers are calling it out. They're not asking for favoritism. They're demanding fairness. Because if rules only apply based on Twitter outrage, then what's left of the game's integrity?
Like, if you guys don't know about Sophie Cunningham and Marina Mabrey, who these two people are, like, you need to just know the lore. Like, Marina Mabrey, this is how Dejanay calls Marina Mabrey her evil twin.
This wasn't a one-time thing. Marina Mabrey has a pattern: physical, ruthless, often reckless. It's part of her game, sure. But when physicality crosses into danger, that's where rules and leadership must draw a line.
Marina Mabrey is a crash out artist. Like, there's literally this page, if you guys haven't seen, called Women Hooping. And 90% of what they do.
3 refs, 1 decision, no ejection. Then later, oops, it was a flagrant 2 after all. The inconsistency is deadly to credibility. If referees only get it right after social media melts down, are they even officiating or just reacting?
And Marina Mabrey will find any excuse to knock someone on the ground or, like, go at somebody. We saw that when she was with the Sky. We'll see that with the Sun. We've seen that when she was with the Wings. Like, that's Marina Mabrey. That is Marina Mabrey at the end.
This isn't about one game anymore. It's about a league that's struggling to enforce justice in real time. It's players like Sophie Cunningham being fined for defending teammates. It's Marina Mabrey weaponizing controversy. It's Clark caught in the middle of a war she never asked for.
Marina Mabrey to a flagrant 2, which honestly, she should have just been ejected from the game. This is what happened last season with Kennedy Carter when her cheap shot on Caitlyn wasn't addressed in the moment. I think they're trying to address that now. So the flagrant 2 has been issued. Sophie Cunningham has been issued another fine on top of her flagrant 2, but is it too little too late?
Now comes the moment of truth. Will the league finally suspend Marina Mabrey? Or will it wait until the next headline writes itself in blood and bruises? The WNBA is growing fast, but so is the backlash. And every shove ignored chips away at trust.